Have you ever wondered why, despite its rapid economic growth, poverty still persists in India? Welcome to our exploration into the enigma of enduring poverty in the heart of one of the world's fastest-growing economies. India, a nation of vast diversity and abundant resources, yet home to a significant portion of the world's impoverished population. This is not a simple tale of lack and deprivation. It's a complex narrative woven with threads of unequal wealth distribution, inadequate access to basic necessities, and limited opportunities for socio-economic advancement. While it's true that India has made strides in economic development, the fruits of this progress have not been evenly distributed. A considerable number of people remain trapped in the cycle of poverty, their lives a daily struggle for survival. This is a reality that affects millions, and it is not a problem that can be swept under the rug or solved with a single sweeping policy. The challenge of poverty in India is like a multi-layered puzzle. Each piece, whether it's the rapid population growth, the rising unemployment, the distress in the agricultural sector, the issues in education and healthcare, or the pervasive corruption and governance issues, plays a significant role in the overall picture. And let's not forget the deep-rooted social and caste discrimination that continues to marginalize certain sections of the society. Understanding these factors is not just a matter of academic interest. It's a crucial step towards developing effective solutions. It's about identifying the root causes, acknowledging the interconnectedness of these issues, and devising strategies that address the problem in all its complexity. As we delve deeper into this issue, we hope to shed light on the many faces of poverty in India and spark a conversation about how we as a society can work towards a more equitable and inclusive future. To understand poverty in India, one must delve into the various factors contributing to its persistence. This is not just a statement, it's an invitation to join us on this journey of discovery and understanding. One major contributing factor to poverty in India is rapid population growth and the unequal distribution of wealth. In a world of finite resources, population growth can be a double-edged sword. On one hand, it provides a robust workforce, a vast consumer base, and a vibrant, diverse culture. On the other, it can strain resources, infrastructure, and social systems. India, home to over 1 billion people, experiences this tension acutely. As the population continues to boom, the demand for resources, services, and opportunities escalates, often outpacing supply. This puts immense pressure on the country's limited resources, exacerbating poverty and income inequality. But the size of the population isn't the only issue. The way wealth is distributed in India plays a significant role in the persistence of poverty. A stark imbalance exists where the country's wealth is concentrated in the hands of a few. This wealth cascade, or rather the lack thereof, leaves a large portion of the population grappling with poverty. Imagine a pie representing India's wealth. Now slice it into 100 pieces. A handful of people, the top 1%, get to enjoy more than a third of the pie, while the majority are left scrambling for the remaining slices. This isn't just a matter of fairness. It's about the ability to afford basic necessities, to invest in education and healthcare, and to build a better future for oneself and one's family. When wealth is concentrated at the top, it limits opportunities for socio-economic advancement for those at the bottom. It creates a society where the rich get richer and the poor struggle to break free from the shackles of poverty. Wealth inequality, compounded by rapid population growth, creates a perfect storm that perpetuates poverty and hinders India's progress. While population growth and wealth inequality are significant factors, they are just a part of the bigger picture. As we continue our exploration of poverty in India, remember that these issues are interconnected, each piece influencing and being influenced by the others. Unemployment, underemployment, and agricultural distress also play significant roles in perpetuating poverty. Let's start with the employment situation. India's unemployment rate has been on the rise in recent years, with a significant number of the population unable to find work, but that's only half the story. There's also the issue of underemployment. This is when individuals are working, but the jobs they have do not fully utilize their skills or abilities, or they're not able to secure enough hours to make a decent living. This affects their income and consequently their quality of life. What's worse is that this issue is not confined to a single industry, it's widespread. from the bustling cities to the quiet rural areas. It's a struggle that many Indians face, regardless of their location or educational background. Now, let's turn our attention to the agricultural sector. Agriculture is the backbone of India's economy, employing a large portion of the population. However, it's a sector plagued with distress. Farmers face a multitude of challenges, from unpredictable weather patterns and crop failures to high input costs and low market prices. This leads to financial instability and indebtedness, pushing many into the clutches of poverty. Moreover, the lack of modern technology and infrastructure in agriculture exacerbates these problems. Many farmers still rely on traditional methods, which are less efficient and more susceptible to environmental changes. This lack of progress holds them back, making it difficult to break free from the cycle of distress and poverty. These are tough issues, and they require comprehensive solutions. Job creation, skill development, and labor market reforms can help address the employment woes. As for the agricultural sector, measures such as investment in technology, infrastructure development, and fair trade policies can alleviate some of the distress. The challenges in the employment sector and agriculture are indeed serious, but they aren't the only factors at play. We still have more ground to cover and more facets of poverty in India to explore, so stick around to delve deeper into this complex issue. Inadequate access to education and healthcare, along with governance issues, further compounds the problem of poverty in India. Education is a powerful tool, a ladder that can lead one out of the pit of poverty. However, in India, quality education remains beyond the reach of many, particularly those in rural areas and marginalized communities. The lack of schools, inadequate infrastructure, and poorly trained teachers all contribute to this educational divide. This, in turn, limits the opportunities for gainful employment and socio-economic advancement, pushing people further into the clutches of poverty. Similarly, access to quality healthcare services is a distant dream for many Indians. The country's public health system is often underfunded, understaffed, and ill-equipped to cater to the needs of its vast population, particularly those living in rural and remote areas. The high out-of-pocket expenditure on health pushes millions of Indians below the poverty line every year. But the challenges don't end there. Corruption and governance issues act as significant roadblocks in the path of poverty reduction. Despite numerous poverty alleviation programs and policies, the benefits often don't reach those who need them the most. Corruption siphons off resources meant for the poor, while bureaucratic red tape and lack of transparency hinder the effective implementation of these programs. Moreover, the lack of good governance hampers economic growth, discourages investment, and perpetuates income inequality, all of which contribute to the persistence of poverty. The need of the hour is a strong, transparent, and accountable system that ensures the equitable distribution of resources and opportunities. These issues, inadequate education, limited healthcare access, and governance problems, are part of a vicious cycle that keeps the poor trapped in poverty. Breaking this cycle requires a holistic approach that addresses all these factors simultaneously and ensures that the fruits of India's economic growth reach everyone, not just a select few. These factors, along with social and caste discrimination, complete the picture of poverty in India. Last but not least, social and caste discrimination in India plays a pivotal role in perpetuating poverty. In the intricate social fabric of India, social and caste discrimination is a deeply entrenched issue. The caste system, a centuries-old social hierarchy, continues to influence many aspects of life, from education and employment to marriage and social status. This discriminatory system often restricts access to resources and opportunities for those at the lower echelons, perpetuating a cycle of poverty that's hard to break. Social discrimination, in its many forms, further compounds the issue. Marginalized groups, including women, religious minorities, and tribal communities, often face systemic barriers that limit their socio-economic advancement. Lack of access to quality education, limited job opportunities, social exclusion, and gender-based discrimination are just a few examples of how social discrimination feeds into the cycle of poverty. These forms of discrimination not only infringe on basic human rights, but also hinder economic progress. By limiting opportunities for a significant portion of the population, they stifle potential and perpetuate inequality, making poverty a persistent problem. As we wrap up, let's recap the main points we've discussed. Poverty in India is a complex issue influenced by a multitude of factors: rapid population growth, unequal wealth distribution, unemployment, agricultural distress, inadequate education and healthcare, corruption, and of course social and caste discrimination. Each of these factors contributes to the persistence of poverty in its own way, creating a tangled web of challenges that can't be solved in isolation. Addressing poverty in India requires a comprehensive approach, one that acknowledges the multifaceted nature of the problem and strives to tackle each contributing factor head-on. Understanding these contributing factors is the first step towards devising effective strategies to alleviate poverty in India. So let's continue to educate ourselves, spark conversations, and champion change, because every step forward is a step towards a more equitable and prosperous India.